Hello everyone! A lot of people have been asking me, how do you beat Genocide Core? And I'm going to be doing that right here. I'm going to be running Mad Dummy, Whimsalot, and Astigmatism. Another difficulty of Genocide Core is getting through the first short little bit of the Genocide Core. So I'm actually going to try to help you simultaneously with getting through the start. Now I might have a little more money than some players going into this, so to account for that, I will be starting with just 2 astigmatisms, I think. Obviously, if you can start with 3, please start with 3. If you can start with 4 or even 5, again, that will help you so much more. And if you have completed True Lab, Snowdrake's Mother is way better than astigmatism here. In case you're wondering where the units come from, Mad Dummy comes from Waterfall as a recipe from Dummy and Napstablook. Dummy is a Runes Genocide Secret Encounter 20%. Whimsalot and, of course, what's the other one? Shoot, Astigmatism are both evolution drops from core. Chances are, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably not ready for Genocide Core, because you could actually make an argument that Genocide Core is more difficult than Sans. You could make an argument. I mostly say it because Sans is a lot more straightforward in my opinion. Getting a little bit of lag, but let's get started on this. So these are 3 units, and again, you might notice I have enough money to basically start with 4 astigmatisms. I'm going to start with just 2 to account for the fact that some of you might struggle with money. So let's go ahead and place 1, 2 right in this area here. And now, if the first final frogget starts with 272 health like that, you're going to probably want to make your astigmatisms focus weakest so that you can get a little bit of gold and get your 3rd astigmatism. But honestly, if the first final frogget is 272, I've found that it's also kind of easy just to start a new run if you don't have the units or the gold to deal with it. Alright, so with that, we're going to kill this first wave of final froggets, and killing the first wave will guarantee that you have enough for your 3rd astigmatism, even if you're like super poor. Of course, if you're unbelievably poor, then that won't help you much. Okay, so then once you start killing the next wave, you can place your 4th astigmatism. And this is something that you will have to worry about happening, which is an enemy sneaks through. This is sort of the issue when you are poor. If I had placed more astigmatisms, these enemies are pretty low, they wouldn't have gotten through. If more final frog gets dying, I'm going to place my final astigmatism. So these units are not the strongest defense, but again, we have ways of working around this. First things first, we need to stop these things from killing us. How do we do that? You're going to place one of your Whimsalots right over here. Okay? So starting off, you're going to get 5 astigmatisms down as soon as humanly possible. And unless you got them up fast enough, enemies are going to sneak through the back, which is why you're going to place a Whimsalot level 1 in the back, okay? So nothing's level 2, even though I could have very easily brought things to level 2. In fact, that's where the next step comes in. Because as you can see, these astigmatisms coming have a little bit of health. I'm going to go ahead and place one of the mad dummies I brought with me right at this corner here. And this mad dummy is just going to help my astigmatisms manage the rush of enemy astigmatisms. I'm going to encourage you to not skip for the time being. Chances are if you can skip easily, your units are already strong enough to easily get through this. For example, I think you can get away with placing down just 4 Snowdrake's moms, and it will get you through pretty far. Now, if you get a secret encounter in Wave 2, I am so sorry for your loss. But yeah, that's going to be a huge issue. Maybe I'll manage it. Maybe we'll get a secret encounter Wave 2 and I won't have to resort to drastic measures. But yeah, for the time being, I'm trying to play this as like I am a little more poor than ordinary players, just so extra poor players can get through this. Please bear in mind, though, that Genocide Core being more difficult than Sans, arguably, you might be able to make an argument that's easier, means Generally, you should be doing this at a high level in either your second or third resets. You can totally do it in your first reset, but that's just a recommendation to minimize difficulty. Alright, so with that, we did manage to stop the enemies. I would have placed another Mad Dummy down, but I was pretty... Actually, I'm going to place another Mad Dummy down. I'm a little nervous about the crowd here, and I don't want anything sneaking through. In the meantime, let's prepare for the next wave. You should have probably gotten enough to place a whim slot right at the corner here. Try to be precise. And we're going to bring this whim slot right up to level 4. Alright, so having this whim slot level 4 will just mean that flying enemies that fly out here will struggle more for ruining your day. Let's see, I won't grab any upgrades in case some of you don't have the ticket for some reason. You should really have the ticket though, because that will make your life much easier. Now here comes the more difficult part. You're going to place a second whim slot down, if I can actually find the sweet spot here. Right there. If for whatever reason you are incapable of putting 2 whim slots at the corners and bringing them both to level 4, then you're going to want to place a level 4 whim slot right here in this spot. In fact, putting a whim slot over here will also help you deal with Gospel, which is a secret encounter for Wave 2. So in general, it's a good idea to do that. Now let's see what we are dealing with for astigmatisms. Alright. 2 Mad Dummies will not actually kill it in a single combo. The astigmatisms have to help get the third hit. That's good to know. Alright, a third Mad Dummy will get planted. The third Mad Dummy wasn't needed there. I was just placing it for security. So if for whatever reason you're coming in here reset 1, there's a good chance you'll have less money than me right now. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and place my 4th and 5th Mad Dummies. Now their combined DPS is actually getting somewhere. Also, I'm going to place my next whim slot right here at the corner. So let me actually, I've been going through a lot. Let me reiterate in case anyone is lost on where I am. I have placed 5 Astigmatisms level 1, 5 Mad Dummies level 1, and then 4 whim slots. The back whim slot is level 1. The 2 whim slots over here are level 4. This one's level 1, which I'm going to immediately bring to level 4. So only the back one's low level, and that's just because we needed it to catch the enemies sneaking through. Now the whim slots over here are going to do their job. Let's see. We're going to keep killing those final froggets. Very nice. And of course I won't skip because I don't want to get into a situation that might mess you all up. Thankfully, we didn't have to deal with McGospel. Again, this setup will struggle a lot with McGospel. At least I'm pretty sure it will. As much as I'd like to say that you would deal with McGospel in this context, I'm using a very simple setup. If I was using a more proper setup, I'd be bringing True Lab creatures into the core because True Lab creatures are a great way to increase your chances of winning Genocide core. Again, not required, but I'm telling you, those secret monsters are absolutely terrifying to deal with. So with that, the rest of Wave 2 will be resolved. Let's see, I'm actually safe to skip. That little crowd won't be able to do anything. I'll take something useless to me, Dust Gain. I don't have any special souls, and I'm Determination, so I'm currently playing without a soul. That's always fun. And now with my excess gold, I'm going to bring Whim slots over here to level 5. All 3 of these Whim slots are level 5. Later I might make another level 5 Whim slot, but right now I'm just making these. And remember, if you cannot double place for some reason, placing right over here on this open tower is a great place to select for your level 5 whim slot. Alright, so with 3 level 5 whim slots, you should be able to prevent most attackers from sneaking through. Again, we might need another later. I'm going to keep an eye on that because I don't want to mess up and end up dying. So what do we spend our gold on now? Well, we spend our gold on Mad Dummy. Mad Dummy costs 8,000 upgrade, but gains a very nice 100 damage on that first upgrade. The next upgrade reduces the cooldown by about 33%, but the cost is it does lose range and damage too. I would say it's a reasonable exchange though. Let's go ahead and get said dummy. It doesn't really matter which dummy you pick. I'm picking one close to the middle though, just so you cover more range. The fourth upgrade will increase the range and also damage, and it's the last upgrade that you really want for your dummy. The last dummy upgrade will make it so that nothing should be getting past your dummy. Also, determination users. If for some reason you couldn't get your astigmatisms going on wave 1 in order to defend, I suppose true determination would allow you to get your gold and then immediately have a more proper wave 1. Also, if you can manage it, Temmie isn't a horrible choice, but I think I like to keep it simple and not use Temmie whenever I can. Temmie is a great unit, but you have to do a lot more money management than just placing what you need. Alright, we have enough for level 4, so the damage will go up in range. And all that's left now for this dummy is level 5, where they will become the maddest dummy. We ended up getting Night Knight and a secret encounter. That's actually concerning. Okay, if you think you're in genuine danger in a situation like this, you might want to skip. Skipping will give you more money and a chance to get an upgrade. Shoot, enemies are slipping through. That's never good. Let's see, that is 25,000 health. Yeah, I'm going to use my gold and just upgrade this. Obviously, if you aren't a high reset, you won't have access to that gold. I'm also going to skip because I'm terrified right now. I can't grab anything useful. Hot dog. Alright, as you can see, the parsnip is going to get through. It took a lot of damage, but it is still getting through. Where are the astigmatisms? Here they are. So now you need a way to deal with the astigmatisms. Now, in a situation like this, the appropriate response is to probably get extremely concerned because a bunch of enemies just got through. Now, a whim slot could reasonably deal with these 4 astigmatisms, but the level 5 with 7,000 health, yeah, you're not dealing with that too easily. So I only have one real choice in the matter, which is selling a mad dummy, relocating the mad dummy right here, and I need to make the mad dummy strong enough to be able to deal with them. As you can see, 175 is pretty nice, but it's not going to cut it. 150 a second is much better, but we're going to go as far as bringing them to level 4, which even then probably will not kill this parsnip on its own, which is why we're actually just buying time by killing these astigmatisms. And as soon as you can, level 5 Mad Dummy, which will bring you to 700 damage a second, which I think might actually be enough to deal with the parsnip. Yep, 700 damage a second is adequate to dealing with it. And as you can see, I have plenty of excess money, and I didn't get the drop. I already had it, but I get the drop again. I will say it's absolutely crucial that you are at a higher reset. I know it's kind of ironic that having level 20 in core Genocide is ideal, but that's sort of how it goes in the core Genocide. You need a lot of advantages to actually get through here. True lab monsters are one good advantage. High levels are titles. If you have a bunch of titles, I can tell you new players who started in the title update will just naturally have more money since they'll get a lot more titles. That's a great way. If you're like me and have 30 of Whimsalot and Astigmatism, it's going to be way cheaper. These are all great things to help you. Thankfully, all these astigmatism are level 1. The only thing that gets more complicated is the money I'm saving on Whimsalot, which is why I'm trying my best to not rely on them. But the secret encounters in Core Genocide make that really difficult. Thankfully, Bravery players, you get an advantage. You have true bravery the whole time. Patience users, yeah, true patience is not going to help you much. Thankfully, the incremental upgrades will make this more doable for you. Alright, I grabbed the donut. And that brings us, I think, to wave 4? Or are we already on 5? We're already on 5. Okay. I'm going to be honest. If I was playing alone, I wasn't making a guide, the next thing I would promptly do is start preparing Omega Flowey right here, and then it just kill Neo in about 5-10 seconds. Obviously, I'm not expecting you all to have Neo. To be perfectly honest, you should probably have Neo at this point in the game. Um, like I'm not saying you messed up by not having the Omega. It's more like core genocide is a area that I find very confusing difficulty wise. Again, in many ways, I consider Seance to be a more straightforward fight than core genocide, especially with the secret encounters. So with that in mind, it kind of messes with everything. Anyway, let me bring another Mad Dummy level 5. I've earned enough excess gold that that shouldn't be a concern. Yep, these enemies can't handle taking 1400 damage a second, so they immediately crumble under it. Yeah, it looks like 3 level 5 whim slots is enough to repel all the flying attackers. So we did not need to prepare a 4th level 5 whim slot. Metaton Neo should be coming out shortly. And we're going to hopefully handle Metaton Neo. 100,000 health. If enemies do slip through, don't be afraid to move a second Mad Dummy back here or even upgrade a Whim slot. I'm prioritizing making Mad Dummy my carry unit. Also, if for whatever reason you cannot afford Whim slot, a great alternative is Glide. I know it's pretty late to start talking about that, but that is an option. I'm going to bring you to level 5. I get the impression that's a good idea. Alright, the Mad Dummies are going to start beating up Neo, who's immediately going to lose 10,000 health. Actually, more, 15,000. These enemies snuck through, but there's a reason we didn't sell our Mad Dummy. If there's one thing I can tell you, try to avoid selling. It's so easy to sell something for newer players, but you lose more gold that way. Selling things loses gold. If you have an issue where you have to move things, you have to live with it. Like, sure, I could sell this. I'd only lose 600 gold, but 600 gold earlier on is huge if you don't have a ton of money. So, if you have less gold than me, one of the best ways you can close the gap for core genocide is get the darn ticket. I had plenty of opportunities where my Mad Dummy would have gained 10% more damage, bringing them up by another 70 damage a second. Cooldown would boost that as well. Let's see, where is Neo? Neo should be right over here. Yep. Neo's going to come through here, walk right up to my Mad Dummy, and then we're going to go actually to the next stage, because the time that Neo went down here is the last time these Whim slots come into play. Now that they are no longer ever going to get a chance to attack, we can sell them and get a little bit more pocket change. And we're going to use that pocket change for one very important purpose. You guessed it. another level 5 Mad Dummy. Now I'm going to try to win with 55,000 excess gold just so that people who have less income can win, following this guide as closely as they can. But I'm telling you, if there's one place I would encourage a ton of deviation, it's here. This is a very budget guide, but I would actually not consider True Lab out of the question. You can technically get a True Lab monster at just 1% chance, which pretty much anyone can do. It's just very RNG based. Alright, Neo's going to come around here, take another set of thousands of damage, and then Neo's going to back off and just do the loop. During the next time Neo turns through here, we're going to have our Mad Dummies do that again. It is pretty relevant to note that Neo has 39.4 thousand. For those of you who have similar gold to me and are wondering how you should spend your money if you don't have Omega, just upgrade the Stigmatisms, honestly. The Stigmatisms will start smacking Neo with another like 400 each, and that extra little bit of damage will speed up Neo's destruction. If you don't have excess gold here, well, if when Neo comes through, you might be a little concerned. There is a good chance that Neo is going to get through these level 5 dummies, the 4 of them. We can go ahead and see, because I'll tell you what to do regardless. What you're going to do is, this is the last time that Neo is going to come through here before he goes for the kill. That's an excellent time to start selling and replanting. Yeah, as I thought, Neo ends up getting away with 10,000 health. Neo's never going to be over here again, so I'm going to sell everything. Don't sell things too soon, because if you mess up with your little math and do it too soon, you're going to be in a world of pain. Also, it really is so easy. If you have Omega Flowey, for just 95,000, Neo is dead. No stress, just dead. Alright, I'm going to place another level 5 dummy here. Looks like I have enough for one more level 5 or a level 4. And when Neo comes through here, we're going to hope that these 2 dummies are enough. If they aren't enough, I'm going to spend the rest of my money to kill Neo with a 3rd dummy. But I'm hoping I don't have to resort to that. If you're wondering if special souls would be useful, they would contribute, but honestly, Glide and Mad Dummy are 2 incredibly valuable units for this. Okay, let's see how they perform. First 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Neo's dead. I did not have to resort to any other little attacks there. That's a relief. And with that, Genocide Core is done. I know this guide might seem a little scuffed, so if it does, well, good luck improving it. Again, there are a lot of ways to improve it. Take True Lab units, please. Take Glide or Temi. Those will help you. Get more titles. I'm playing this with only like Hotland and Core titles. So if you came in here with more titles than me, or even as Bravery or Patience, you would have had a huge advantage. Patience, you boost damage, cooldown, and range. Bravery, you boost range, you boost cell return, you have your true bravery. Point is, there's probably a lot of range to play differently, but I hope that this was a good example of how to win even with huge disadvantages. With that, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.